Ladies and gentlemen, may I please have your attention? Please have your tickets in hand before you board the plane. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Johan Castell and you're watching a special episode of Wings brought to you from New Delhi as India celebrates its 80th Independence Day. On the show today, we bring you a collection of eateries from New Delhi that have been around longer than India has been an independent nation.
On the show today, we bring you a special collection of iconic eateries in Delhi that are older than the nation itself. Also, historic places you can visit across the country of national historical importance. We also cover India's tiger conservation success story. Let's begin.
In 1947, India gained independence, and every August 15th since has been marked with massive celebrations across the country. From flag hoisting to cultural events, food is also central to the occasion. Next up, we bring you a collection of iconic eateries in New Delhi that has seen it all, because they've been around longer than India has been an independent nation.
Connaught Place has been at the heart of Delhi's commercial life since its construction in the 1930s, and it soon became home to restaurants catering to the city's growing population. One of them was Kwality. Started in 1940, the restaurant began as a hand-churned ice cream shop, primarily serving American GIs stationed in Delhi during the Second World War. It soon grew into one of the city's early fine dining establishments, serving a mix of continental and Indian cuisine. The unusual spelling of Quality with a K instead of a Q became part of its identity, as did its ice cream and signature dishes. Over the years, the restaurant has undergone renovations, but its old-world character remains. Wooden furniture, a piano lounge, offer a glimpse into another era. On the menu, some favorites have remained unchanged. Chole Bhature became one of its most celebrated dishes. From paneer cutlets and cheese balls to Rogan Josh and masala tea, Quality brought together a range of classic favorites, serving them in a refined, fine dining setting. These iconic dishes continue to draw loyalists and generations of diners returning for the flavors they grew up with.
Next up, let's go to Old Delhi and visit the Paratha Gully for more century-old culinary heritage. This narrow street is super crowded and no vehicles pass through here. Walking down the road, one can feel the history of this area.
1889 on that one.
I spot 3 restaurants established over 130 years ago. These 2 restaurants sit side by side and have been dishing out piping hot food for 6 generations. I ordered the 3 best-selling dishes on the menu: a cheese special paratha, a banana paratha, and a mixed veg paratha. Time to sample the goods.
Filled with liquid cheese, both paneer and melted cheese and some kind of compote. So good.
I love the crispy parathas. I might just come back for this again another time. I should have probably had water instead of 3 lassis to wash it down. I am beaten.
Back in Connaught Place, there is an institution that has been serving Delhi for nearly a century. Wenger's was established in 1926 by a Swiss couple and began as a restaurant with live music before evolving into the pastry shop it is known as today. Over the decades, politicians, public figures and generations of Delhi residents have walked through its doors. Today, its Shami kebabs, chicken patties and signature chocolate fudge remain firm favorites. And despite the many bakeries that have emerged across Delhi, Wenger's continues to hold on its place in the city's food history.
For dessert, let's go into Old Delhi to Kuremal Mohan Kulfi. a family business that dates back to 1906. More than a century later, this place is still drawing visitors for one of Delhi's most distinctive summer treats, kulfi, served inside real fruit.
It's so good. It's so tasty. And when it's so hot like it is right now, it's just so refreshing to have something really cold. And then how they make this with the kulfi inside of the mango. Not only does it look really cool, but it tastes amazing.
The fruit is hollowed out, filled with kulfi, and frozen before being sliced open to serve. Mango is the classic choice, but the shop has built up a long menu of flavors over the years. More than 120 years after it began, Kuremal shows that some of Delhi's sweetest traditions have survived remarkably well. Food also played a more unexpected role during India's freedom struggle. Sweets were sometimes used to pass coded messages between freedom fighters. A box of sweets could appear completely innocent while carrying a message that only the recipient understood. In Old Delhi, sweet shops and small eateries could also provide a discreet place for revolutionaries to lie low and remain close to their networks.
Some of these establishments have survived to this day, like Shyam Sweets in Old Delhi, which continues to save traditional favorites from the same neighborhoods where it has stood for generations. Established in 1910, dishes like crisp lentil stuffed bedmi puri and other traditional Delhi delicacies at Shyam Sweets continue to connect today's diners with an older culinary tradition. One of the most famous dishes here is the Matar ki kachori, which has a connection to India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. He was fond of kachoris from Allahabad, but for convenience he requested Shyam Sweets to start making them here as well. These establishments have witnessed India's journey across generations. Their menus may have evolved, their surroundings may have changed, but their stories remain rooted in the India that existed before 1947. And this Independence Day, they offer us another way to celebrate the country's history, one recipe, one plate, and one timeless flavor at a time.
The story of India's freedom struggle goes way beyond the celebrations. Across the country, there are many places where important moments of India's freedom movement unfolded. Let's take a look.
Few monuments are as closely associated with India's Independence Day as Delhi's Red Fort. Built by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in the 17th century, the fort was once the political and ceremonial center of the Mughal Empire. But its story changed with the arrival of the British rule. The Red Fort became associated with the freedom struggle during the 1857 uprising, when rebels proclaimed Bahadur Shah Zafar as their leader. Nearly a century later, it once again became a symbol of resistance when the British held trials here for soldiers of the Indian National Army. And then came August 15, 1947. Jawaharlal Nehru hoisted the national flag at the Red Fort, beginning a tradition that every Prime Minister since has carried forward. Today, a visit here is more than a walk through Mughal architecture. It is a chance to see the monument that went from a seat of imperial power to one of independent India's most recognizable symbols. In the heart of Delhi is a much quieter historic site. Gandhi Smriti at the Jallianwala Bagh is the former residence where Mahatma Gandhi spent the last months of his life after India became independent. It was here that Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated on January 30, 1948. Today the house preserves his personal belongings and memories of his final days. For visitors, Gandhi Smriti offers a more personal connection to the man behind India's freedom movement. Not through grand monuments, but through the everyday objects, spaces, and memories he left behind. On the banks of the Sabarmati River in Ahmedabad stands a place that became one of the focal points of India's freedom movement. Mahatma Gandhi established the Sabarmati Ashram in 1917, and it was here that he developed and practiced his philosophy of truth, self-reliance and non-violence. The spinning wheel, fair spaces, and Mahatma Gandhi's austere way of life became closely associated with his vision for a free India. The ashram also became the starting point of the historic Dandi March in 1930. Today, visitors come here not just to learn about Mahatma Gandhi, but to understand the ideas that shaped one of the world's most significant non-violent freedom movements. Some places tell the story of freedom through celebration. Jallianwala Bagh tells it through tragedy. On April 13, 1919, thousands had gathered here in Amritsar in order to celebrate Baisakhi and also to peacefully protest the Rowlatt Act, when British troops under General Dyer opened fire on the crowd. The enclosed ground had a narrow entrance, leaving those inside with little opportunity to escape. The massacre shocked India and fueled anger against British rule. Today, the bullet marks on the walls and the memorials at the site remain reminders of what happened here. A visit to the Jallianwala Bagh offers an important perspective on the human cost of the freedom struggle and why the demand for independence grew stronger. Independence also came with a painful chapter of partition. At Delhi's Partition Museum, visitors can explore the stories of the thousands whose lives were changed by the division of British India in 1947. The museum brings together photographs, artifacts, newspaper clippings, and personal belongings donated by families who experienced partition. For anyone wanting to understand independence beyond the celebrations, this is perhaps one of the most personal and profound stops on the trail. Because 1947 was not just the birth of a nation, it was also a moment that changed millions of individual lives. This Independence Day, history doesn't have to remain inside books. These places offer different windows into the making of modern India. And sometimes the best way to understand the past is to walk through it.
August may soon be winding down, but India's festive calendar is only getting busier. From Onam in Kerala later this month to Ganesh Chaturthi and Janmashtami coming up in September, there are plenty of reasons to travel coming up.
There are some times of the year when traveling across India feels less like a holiday and more like stepping into a celebration. And this is one of them. The calendar is full of elaborate feasts, flower carpets, and temple rituals. Colorful processions and centuries-old traditions mark the next few weeks that bring some of India's biggest festivals. Kerala's biggest harvest festival, Onam, begins on the 16th of August and Thiruvonam falls on the 26th of August this year, marking the culmination of the traditional 10-day festivities. The festival is associated with the return of the legendary king Mahabali. And across Kerala, homes and public spaces come alive with pukkalams or floral carpets. For travellers, Onam offers plenty to see beyond the celebrations at home. Head to Kochi, Thrissur or Thiruvananthapuram to experience the festivities. And if you're around the backwaters, look out for Valamkalli, Kerala's famous snake boat races. And then there is the food. The Ona Sadhya or Sadhya is an elaborate vegetarian feast traditionally served on a banana leaf with rice, curries, pickles, payasam and several other dishes making up the spread. And with the festive rush expected to be high, Indian Railways have already added special trains on several routes to Kerala for the Onam season. So if you're planning this trip, booking ahead would be a good idea. From Kerala, travel north to Uttar Pradesh, where September brings one of India's most celebrated festivals. Janmashtami falls on the 4th of September this year, marking the birth of Lord Krishna. And there may be no better place to experience it than Mathura and Vrindavan. In Mathura, Lord Krishna's birthplace, celebrations build through the day before reaching their peak around midnight with prayers, aartis and devotional music. In Vrindavan, the festivities have a more theatrical side. Ras Leelas recreate episodes from Krishna's life, while temples and streets fill with music, chants and devotees. The Banke Bihari temple is another major stop during Janmashtami. Its special Mangla Aarti is held only once a year, making it one of the most sought-after moments for devotees visiting during the festival. Next up, you could also head to Mumbai or Pune. That's where Dahi Handi takes center stage, which simply translates to curd pot. Teams form human pyramids to break a pot suspended high above the ground, a tradition inspired by Krishna's childhood love for butter. And then comes one of Maharashtra's biggest celebrations. Ganesh Chaturthi falls on the 14th of September this year, with the festival culminating in Anant Chaturdashi or Ganesh Visarjan on the 25th of September. As the word Visarjan implies, on this day, Lord Ganesha's idol is immersed in a water body. Mumbai is the obvious place to experience the scale of Ganesh Chaturthi. Neighborhood pandals and some of the city's most famous Ganesh idols emerge in celebrations. Pune too has a deep Ganesh Chaturthi tradition. But perhaps the most striking part of the festival is how much of the city becomes involved. There are pandals to explore, music and dhols on the streets, community celebrations, and eventually the enormous processions for Ganesh Visarjan. As the idols make their way towards water, one chant takes over the streets, Ganapati Bappa Moria. And that is perhaps what makes these festivals such compelling travel experiences. You're not simply visiting a destination, you're experiencing the place at its most alive.
For many travelers, spotting a tiger in the wild in its natural habitat is a top wildlife experience. India is now home to 70% of the world's wild tigers, making it a global leader. So, from the forests of Ranthambore to the wilderness of Satpura, let's explore how wilderness conservation can boost tourism and create amazing wildlife experiences for travelers.
There are few wildlife experiences quite like this. Heading deep into the forest before sunrise, following fresh tracks and waiting for a glimpse of India's most famous big cat. Today your chances of encountering a tiger are backed by one of the world's biggest wildlife conservation programs. According to the government, India is now home to 3,682 wild tigers, nearly 70% of the global population. So what does that conservation success look like for a traveler? Let's begin in Rajasthan. Ranthambore brings wildlife and history together within the same landscape. The Tiger Reserve covers more than 1,400 square kilometers, where the Aravalli and Vindhyan landscapes meet, creating a mix of hills, valleys and dry deciduous forest. For visitors, the experience starts on safari. You enter in an open vehicle, scanning the forest for movement. Spotted deer, sambar, langurs and other wildlife can appear along the way. But every vehicle is hoping for the same sight, a tiger, and a sighting is never guaranteed. That uncertainty remains one of the biggest parts of the experience. Ranthambore also offers something unusual for a tiger destination. History sits right inside the landscape. Ranthambore Fort and medieval temples rise above the forest, adding another reason to explore the reserve beyond the safari. From the fort, travelers get a very different perspective on the terrain below. It also shows how wildlife, forests and centuries of human history share the same landscape. Ranthambore is one part of a much larger conservation story. India's scientifically assessed tiger population has more than doubled since 2006. The 2022 All India Tiger Estimation placed the population at 3,682. Project Tiger has now expanded to 58 reserves across 18 tiger range states. Today they cover around 84,500 square kilometers, about 2.56% of India's geographical area, and each reserve offers a different wilderness experience. In Madhya Pradesh, Satpura Tiger Reserve takes travelers into the central Indian highlands. Spread across more than 2,100 square kilometers, the landscape includes hills, forests and varied terrain. The reserve supports tigers alongside leopards, gaur, sambar, sloth bears, wild dogs and several other species. This wider biodiversity is important. The tiger is an apex predator and an umbrella species. Protecting its habitat also helps conserve the forests, rivers, prey species and other wildlife that shares its home. So even if your safari ends without a tiger sighting, the experience extends well beyond one animal. Further south, Maharashtra offers another major tiger landscape. Tadoba Andhari Tiger Reserve in Chandrapur combines Tadoba National Park with the Andhari Wildlife Sanctuary. Its landscape includes dry deciduous forest, grasslands, streams and water bodies. The reserve also connects with surrounding forest divisions, allowing wildlife to move across a wider landscape. That connectivity is a key part of modern tiger conservation. A tiger does not recognize the boundaries on a tourist map. Protecting corridors between forests gives animals space to move, find territory and maintain viable populations. Behind every safari experience is a much larger conservation operation. India conducts its All India Tiger Estimation every 4 years. The 2022 exercise covered 20 states and involved more than 641,000 kilometers of on-foot surveys. Field surveys, camera traps and digital technology help scientists understand tiger populations, prey numbers and the condition of their habitats. For travelers, most of that work remains out of sight, but its results are evident across India's tiger landscapes.
That's all we have for you on the show this week, but we return with more next weekend. Until then, it's me, Johan Castell, signing off. Goodbye.